Travel on Today, brought to you by Riviera Travel, the experts in river cruising.
Now it is Travel Thursday,
away.
and we need a treat this time of the week, and we have the novel traveller Michelle Jackson here just to whisk us away. And you know what? We were looking at this earlier on.
We were, and we're
Talk
very
about relaxing.
excited because cruising. Di and I have both been on the cruise on the ocean, but
Yeah.
we're talking about river cruising today.
Yes, and there is quite a difference. You know, the size of the ship for a start, but it's also a boutique, more luxury experience. And like the larger cruise ships, you pack once and you wake up in a different destination
that.
every
I
day,
love that.
which is really
Like, say,
fantastic.
some of the bigger sea cruise ships, Michelle, would have maybe 4,000 or 5,000. How many would be on the river
Now,
cruises?
160 is kind of the
that's
average.
very intimate.
And there are 44 crew with Riviera Travel now. I've got a whole selection. I've got 5 amazing cruises here to talk about today.
Yeah.
And they're all roughly about 8 days long. So it kind of gives you nice time to see a lot. And there are excursions included, your flights, you know, and your hand will be held every step of the way when you're enjoying the cruise on board and when you get off.
It's what we really want. We can take a look now at the exterior and the interior, Michelle, because these are so nice.
Everyone wants
yeah.
to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, these ships have everything on board. Now, you have a balcony, of course, French balcony in some cases, other cases a deck. You've got fabulous facilities. Your ensuite will include
really big,
slippers.
actually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? It's not too big. It's not going to
But
take
what
you
I mean
ages
is the
to walk.
rooms, your stateroom and all that looks quite big.
Absolutely, very spacious. And the dining is exquisite. Now, it is 5-star dining. It's not kind of like, you know, everybody up self-service. And you get a flavour for where you're travelling through. So if you're in Germany, you'll have German food. If you're in France,
Oh, that's
you'll have
Oh, I
French.
like that.
And there are like drinks packages, you know, as well to enjoy. So the excursions are a big part of it. And as I said, your hand will be held every step of the way.
Okay, so we're going to cruise on the Danube first. A
Yeah.
beautiful place to cruise and great cities to go through.
Well, we're starting off with the Danube, which is, of course, one of the longest rivers in Europe. And it passes through several countries, so you get a lot of bang for your buck as such.
That's
you get to
Budapest
see a
there,
lot.
is it?
Yeah, this is Budapest. You've got
Lovely,
beautiful
love it
Buda
there.
up on the hill, and then you've got Pest on the other side. But you've got the fantastic scenery as you travel through this part of the world. You've got Melk Abbey, which you'll visit and see, and that's where Richard the Lionheart actually was kept. You'll go through Bratislava and Slovakian countryside. You know, the Bratislava is the capital, of course. But a highlight on this trip is actually stopping off in Salzburg, where you go to visit the home of Mozart.
Yeah, you see, all those places are
And-
just divine.
Yeah, you see
Salzburg
Mozart.
is one of the most beautiful
And, you know,
places.
They actually as well, they wind up in Vienna, and of course there you've got concerts galore, you know, and I said that they'll be bringing to galleries, everything you want to see. And the great thing is, in the evening you go back to your ship and you have a flavour and a taste of where you've been.
And it's all 5-star dining, is it?
It is absolutely.
So there's
yeah,
no
it's
kind of
really
buffets or anything like
top-notch.
that? This is full on?
This is full on, your a la carte menu and your drinks, and as I said, your cocktails. There'll be champagne you can expect to have. And in the evening, what I love about river cruising is you can sit up on the deck and, you know,
Take in the atmosphere.
Just take it in. Because if you're in a city or if you're in a quiet town, you get to observe.
And you don't get to see the city like any other way, really. Do you know what I mean? You're on the river looking up.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a nice
That's
way to see a
different.
city,
It is.
yeah.
It's a very nice way to see a
everywhere
city.
does look different from the water. You know, it looks particularly.
Yeah, and I love the way you have different food when you're going through the different countries.
So
as
it's
well.
a
I didn't
taste of
realise
all
that.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Now, are you going to Spain and Portugal next?
Yeah, we're going to Iberia. We're going to northern Portugal, actually, is where we start. And this tour, again, you'll be flown in, and it starts in Porto, which has that fabulous bridge over the River Douro. And this route is gaining huge popularity because of the scenery. You'll start out in Porto, but you'll get to see the famous Mateus Palace, which, of course, the famous Mateus wine, and the Quinta de Pachica with some glorious architecture. You know, those beautiful blue tiles, those blue and white tiles, you get to see them everywhere. But you'll also get to sample some of the best wines because you're going through wine region.
Oh, great. All that
Yeah.
lovely Vino Verde.
Well, I just lit up there for a second.
Yeah, but I love Portuguese wine, seriously.
Well, day 3 actually go into Spain, and you'll go to Salamanca, which of course is a gorgeous city, and you get to see part of.
I've never been to any of those places, now Salamanca places.
No, they're well worth visiting. You know, there's an awful lot to see in them, and you know, you also get a little bit of the route of the Camino.
Of course, you touched on that.
Oh yeah, and finish up at the Santiago de Compostela. But you just saw the little picture there of the port, so of course it has to finish off with a taste of port at the end of the cruise.
And you know what's good, though, I feel, is that I don't think people realise until they do a cruise, whether it's on the sea or on the river and all that, because I was kind of a bit, not reticent, but I was like, I wonder what this would be like, because I'm a real kind of I would consider myself and have been kind of intrepid in travelling, but I was actually saying, God, it's so good to not have to worry.
Isn't it just lovely when
Like
you
to
can just
actually
relax?
chill out.
Yes.
The fact that you wake up in a different place every morning really made it for me.
Yeah. And leave the hassle to somebody else to make sure that you get there on time and that, you know, everything works out.
Yeah.
So let's go to France and the Seine.
Well, where could be more romantic than Paris? And this cruise is particularly nice because it starts on the River Seine, so you get to see, you get to really experience everything about Paris.
So do you cruise out of Paris? Is that how it goes?
No, well, you start in Paris itself, and then you go to the cider fields of Normandy, which of course is famous for its cider.
Yeah.
And then you stop off in Rouen Cathedral.
Oh, Rouen is
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is famous, of course. Monet painted that, Claude Monet. We'll come back to him in a second.
Yeah.
Because you'll also be going through Bayeux, which is where you see the fabulous Bayeux tapestry. This is really great for history buffs.
Yeah.
You've got the beaches where the D-Day landings happened.
yeah, that's right.
And then the fantastic, gorgeous little town of Honfleur, which I'm just crazy about. But this tour finishes up in Giverny. And Giverny, of course, is where Claude Monet kept his beautiful Japanese gardens and where he painted his water lilies.
Yeah.
So that's somewhere really special to see.
Right.
For
Now,
people who
Burgundy
love
and
art.
Provence as well.
Yes, well, staying in France, you know, the River Rhone is kind of, it's a little bit off the beaten track. It's down in the south, but for pure scenery, this is beautiful. The tour starts in Lyon, which of course is the UNESCO World Heritage
And it's
Site.
becoming such a popular city to visit these days.
And it's fantastic for food as well. I know I go on about the food, but it is particularly special. And this, of course, you'll go through Chalon and Beaune, which are the gateway capital towns really for Burgundy wine. And you get fantastic architecture. You'll get in Roman ruins in places like Vienne and Tournon, and the Ardèche gorges, of course, on the River Ardèche. You'll actually get to see those as well. Beautiful Roman ruins in Arles. You've got the famous Pont du Gard Roman aqueduct, which you get to see. And as you can imagine, like the cuisine is going to be a highlight of that. And dinner with the captain is one of the highlights of that particular.
Can I ask you, Michelle, what is the best time of year to go?
Well, you know, I always say spring and autumn are the best times when it's not too, but you know, because you're on the river, you're on the water, you don't have to worry. It's not like you're staying in a city. It's lovely and cool when you're on a boat.
You always get a bit of a breeze, don't you?
Quite happy to go in July and August on a river cruise.
Now you're going to bring us to Germany and the Rhine next, and Switzerland.
Oh,
very dramatic scenery.
Oh, well, beautiful scenery, because anybody who loves those German romantic castles will love this trip. And this trip starts in Cologne, which of course is a fabulous city of the fantastic cathedral. But you'll glide down the Rhine and you'll stop off in cities like Koblenz, which inspired the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, of course, and you'll get to see that lovely architecture and those romantic places. You'll also travel around the massive looping bend at Beauport, which is known as the Pearl of the Rhine. And you'll get to go to Strasbourg, which is the capital of the Alsace region. And you know, again, I say you've got the covered bridges, and this tour is really nice because it finishes up in Lucerne, which is
Lucerne's
on the
lovely.
lake.
I love Lucerne.
And it's very Queen Victoria.
That's a nice one now, because you've taken a few very different cultures there with Switzerland and Germany.
It was a favourite of Queen Victoria, actually, Lucerne. And when you get to Switzerland, you'll get to go on the Oberland Railway, so you get to see the beautiful mountains.
We've all seen it before.
There's so much.
Michelle, is it the same way, say, as a sea cruise, where you are travelling at night and you land in a place in the morning, or do you get to even travel during the day as well?
You actually travel during the day as well, which is really,
you see
really
a lot,
nice.
don't you?
And you see the scenery during the, so you really take it in. And you know, the locks will change water level sometimes when you're going in certain parts of the river.
Very cool.
It's very unique, and there is entertainment on board. Like I say, especially with Riviera Travel, their boats are top notch. You really won't get better.
They look fab.
And
Michelle, what's the normal cruising time? Is it like a week or what?
About 8 days.
8 days,
is what
okay.
Is, yeah,
You'd need that, really.
Yeah, you would.
And all the prices, of course, they're on our Facebook page and our Instagram. But you know, you'd be quite surprised with everything that's included, because you couldn't pay for your excursions and have 5-star dining and everything by doing it yourself.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
When
It's
you go on
always
one
good
of these cruises, just before you go, Michelle, would you have a week in somewhere else while you're in the area, if you know what I mean? Would you stay for a few extra
Could you
days?
get? Oh, I was trying to get close to that. You could actually stay on where
you could
you
fly
want.
in
You
or
could
whatever.
work that out with a Riviera Travel when you're looking for it.
I just think you'd be really relaxed after spending 8 days on a river
You're
like
right.
that.
Yeah. And if there was something particularly you loved, you could go back.
And they're great for couples or solo travellers, or for you know maybe two friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Great idea.
Lovely.
Michelle, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Michelle.
Great to have you back
Thank
with
you.
us. And of
Great
course,
to be back.
all the details, as Michelle said, of the trips, you can check out our social channels at RTE Today.
Travel on Today, brought to you by Riviera Travel, the experts in river cruising.